So how can we do effective user testing? Daniel?
So we should start by defining what we really mean by user testing. We're obsessed in digital marketing about analytics and measurement and all those kind of things. And we look at the analytics and try and improve things. But actually, user testing is the idea of getting actual people in front of your app, your piece of content, your website, and then seeing how they react to it and kind of judging the problems from there. And it will really, really bring out insights you just kind of miss when you're looking at the analytics a lot of the time.
And you don't need a huge amount of people either, do you?
No, there's this great stat, and it's been researched a lot, that basically says if you get 5 people to test the same thing, which might be a piece of content or a particular part of a web page even, or a form or anything else, you generally don't want to test the whole website, but 5 people will identify 85% of your problems. Now, it sounds like a bit of a throwaway comment, but actually it works. And it's amazing when you get a number of people to do something, can you work out the commonality in the problems or the commonality of the things they don't like? That's really what tells you we need to fix this particular issue.
So how do you then do this in practice?
So there's this idea of the hallway methodology, which is if you're in a big company, you just go and grab people off the hallway. But it's really saying who's somebody that represents your target persona. Okay, so who is this person that might be a bit like the person that I want to be my customer or might use my product or service? And then you get a number of people and you give them a scenario. Imagine you were doing this, and then you ask them to kind of go through and do things. And then you're observing what they do, if they get confused, things they do and don't like as you kind of go through. And you'll start to identify commonality. And that commonality is actually what you're looking for. Where are those problems?
There's some great ways to recruit people for this as well. So it could be simple as like a survey on social media, right? Where you ask certain qualifying questions. So let's say I'm a shoe retailer, and the first question I might ask was, how much do you typically spend on a good posh pair of shoes? And depending on what people pick, that's gonna indicate to me that they're the right sort of customer for testing, this particular test that we want to do. And as long as you're collecting, contact details, actually, when people have done that, if you reach out to them and say, look, thanks so much for doing this. We'd love to ask you for, 15, 20 minutes of your time. And there's all sorts of ways that you can, reward them. I think like Amazon vouchers is a great way because it's such a universal currency. And it doesn't need to be high value. It's just a thanks for your time. And yeah, it's a great way of recruiting people.
It's really valuable as well. So when we incentivize pretty heavily. We'll give people quite a lot of money, or we'll give them a year's subscription to our service, something like that, because the amount of insight you get from this is really, really important.
So what sort of format do these tests take then?
So you're really looking at trying to answer 3 types of questions. One is effectiveness. Actually, can they do something? And you're looking for how they go through the process and any problems they had. One is efficiency, how quickly and easily they can do something. And you time people. You look for outliers that are a lot slower than other people and try and work out why that might be the case as well. And then you're looking at satisfaction. Did they like doing something? Did you like the design? Did you enjoy that process? Was it good? And so on. And again, you're looking for the kind of commonality. So you're setting them tasks and then going, can they do it? Can they do it quickly? Did they like doing it? And if you can do that, you start to pull out these themes over a period of time.
So what are the next steps then? So once you've done this user testing, what do you do after?
So you're kind of observing people as they do it. You're making notes and you're building these common themes, common problems that come out. Then you're going to take that and you're going to prioritize it. And you're going to go through and say, look, based on what we've seen, what are the things that everyone didn't like? But what's the biggest blocker for them doing things? So if they didn't like the design that much, that might be a problem. But if they couldn't check out, that's obviously a really fundamental problem. So you go off, you do user testing, you take your notes, you compile them, you prioritize them, you implement changes, and then you iterate and you do it again. And then you're looking for the themes.
And don't just do this with new products.
100%.
Because new, it's not even been proven. You're starting from scratch. Why not do some user testing on one of your core products that makes all the money? If you can find ways of making that process more frictionless, you could go from 1% conversion to 1.5%, well, 1.8% conversion, and each of those is a multiplier for your business. We've got the same amount of traffic coming in, but we convert more of it. That's how businesses grow. That's where you should focus your attention on, I think, first. That's the low-hanging fruit, right?
It is, and I think that's the thing with usability testing is that it's not done enough, but it's actually quite an easy thing to do. And actually, it tends to have a really big impact on conversion rates.
people hate doing it as well, because as a marketer, you're having to say, actually, the website I put my heart and soul into is flawed, doesn't work well, it's a leaky bucket, it's not perfect. That's a really hard thing to do as a marketer. But honestly, if you embrace this, you can just rise above that and get great results, which is what every marketer's about.